You know that feeling when you're scrolling through endless recliner options and every listing promises the ultimate relaxation experience, but you can't shake the worry that you'll end up with a piece of furniture that just takes up space without actually delivering the comfort you need? I get that. Nobody wants to drop a good chunk of money on something that looks great in a photo but turns out to be a daily disappointment. That's why I'm breaking down this electric power recliner chair the way I would if I were standing in my own living room, trying to decide whether it truly fits a small space lifestyle, a home office setup, or a weekend movie marathon zone. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, let's talk about the problem this chair is trying to solve. A lot of people living in apartments or tight in-law rooms say the biggest pain point is finding a seat that can both recline fully and stay out of the way when you're not using it. Traditional recliners often need a dedicated wall or a large footprint, and the manual levers can be a hassle for anyone with limited mobility. This model advertises a space-saving roller base, which basically means you can pull it out of a corner, lock the wheels, and you're good to go. No need to sacrifice a whole wall. In real life, that translates to being able to tuck the chair behind a sofa when guests arrive, or slide it back into a nook after you've finished a quick power nap. The rollers are sturdy enough to handle the weight of the chair plus an adult, but you'll still want to keep an eye on the floor surface. Carpet works fine, but very low-pile rugs can make the rolling a bit less smooth. Now, the electric power recline feature is where the convenience factor really shows up. Instead of reaching for a lever and hoping you've hit the right angle, you simply press a button and the chair glides back into a reclining position. For anyone who spends a lot of time working at a desk, that means you can transition from a focused posture to a relaxed one without breaking your flow. I've seen a few people mention that the motor is fairly quiet, which is a big plus if you're in a shared space or watching a movie and don't want a whirring sound to compete with the soundtrack. The range of recline isn't unlimited. You won't get a flat position like a lounge chair, but you do get enough of an angle to prop your feet up and take the pressure off your lower back. Speaking of back relief, the built-in massage and heat therapy are the kind of add-ons that can tip the scales from nice to have to must-have, especially if you suffer from occasional tension or just love the idea of a warm seat after a cold day. The massage nodes are positioned in the lower back area and operate on a simple pulsing rhythm. There's no fancy preset program selection. You get a steady, moderate vibration that most users find soothing enough for a short 10-15 minute session. The heat function works in tandem, providing gentle warmth that helps the muscles relax. In practice, this combo works best when you're settling in for a movie or reading a book, things that already last a while, because the chair doesn't have a timer that automatically shuts off, so you have to remember to turn it off yourself. If you're prone to leaving devices on, that's a minor inconvenience to keep in mind. One of the most practical features for today's tech-savvy households is the inclusion of both USB-A and USB Type-C charging ports. You can literally plug your phone, tablet, or even a small Bluetooth speaker into the armrest while you're lounging. I've heard from a few owners that the ports are conveniently placed within reach, and they stay cool even after a couple of hours of charging. The downside is the cable length. The built-in cords are about a foot long, so you'll need a short charger or a short cable to keep things tidy. If you typically use longer cables, you'll have to manage the excess, but that's a small trade-off for having power right at your fingertips. Fabric upholstery is another area where reality can differ from marketing hype. The chair is covered in a soft, woven fabric that feels breathable compared to leather alternatives. That's a win for people who worry about sweating in a heated seat during summer months. However, because it's fabric, you'll want to consider the likelihood of spills or pet hair. The material is removable for cleaning, but it's not machine washable, so you'll need to spot clean with a mild detergent. If you have kids who love to snack on the couch or a dog that likes to curl up, you might find yourself doing a bit more upkeep than you would with a synthetic leather finish. So, who should actually buy this chair? If you live in a studio, a one-bedroom apartment, or any space where every square foot counts, the